I'm Anna, and this is Her Shift. It's the podcast that's all about shaking up beliefs and diving into moments when everything changes. Join me as we unravel these tales of change from the little light bulb moments into pivotal, life-changing junctures. It's the journey from I never questioned this to I now believe something totally different. In every episode, we're going to embark on a journey of ordinary to extraordinary ideas, questions, an event, and also look at people who have fearlessly faced the crossroads of their why. Let's explore together, because if we only have one life, then there really is no space for lifeless beliefs. Hi, I'm back for another episode of Her Shift. I'm doing it again. I've got some headphones this time. I really hope they work. If anything, they'll just look good in the video, but unless you're listening to me on YouTube, it's not going to make much difference. Anyway, I am back and I'm doing it again. And I'm here with some more shift in beliefs. And this week I thought we would focus on finding ourselves, our identity, and just asking questions about why we believe some of the things we believe, as in why do we like certain things or why do we not like certain things? You know, like what's our favourite colour, what's our favourite food, or why we don't like going to a certain place. Have we ever really thought about it, or it's just the belief that we've had for so long we don't even question it? I've had a bit of a funny week with lots of things happening, like the boiler going, someone crashing into my car and no one was hurt. Having to pay more for a trip that had meant to be paid for. You know, just like quite a few things happening and mounting up. And instead of like getting down on it, I've decided to go, you know what, it's proof that things are happening. When you dare to take action and move forward, things come at you, things happen. The only other thing you can do is not touch the sides, go through life, keep your head down, hope nothing bad happens, and then equally probably nothing good happens too. So, but then, yeah, I was thinking about, I'm coming towards the end of the lease on my car. So I'm looking at new cars. And it made me think about my belief evolution when it's come to cars and the things that I used to think were true, how I think about now, and how we can be very judging when it comes to a car. When we see a luxury premium car drive past, I'm pretty sure most of us make a judgment in that moment about who's driving it and what their background story is. And I'm going to suggest that maybe it's not usually a positive one. For a long time, and due to my background and the past traumas, I suppressed my love of cars. And I'm going to say it right here and right now. You know what? I am a bit of a petrol head. I love cars. I was thinking about why I love them so much, because it's almost like a handbag, but even more practical. Imagine you could have something that is so beautiful, inspiring, gives you feels, gives you tingles, and is also incredibly practical and functional, and it gets you from A to B. I don't know, I just love the idea of someone putting this thought into design and creation of something that is the technological advancement of cars. I told you, I am a petrol, I'm a geek. I love cars. But it's only been in the past few years that I've been proudly been able to say that I do love cars. My current car is a Range Rover. I've always liked them. I've just always liked the feel of them. And when I test drove one before getting this, it's like, this feels good. This makes me feel good. This is luxurious. I feel safe. It was a very hard decision for me to get the Range Rover due to my past beliefs, and I'm going to talk about some of those reasons now and what brought that up. I was recently on a weekend away with my girlfriends for a birthday, and one of them had mentioned that someone we know thinks I'm doing very well for myself because of the car I drive. Now, I'm not going to say whether I'm doing well for myself or not, because I mean, that's purely, well, that's all down to perspective and comparison anyway, isn't it? But it did make me think like, it's interesting, isn't it? We see someone in a certain type of car drive past, and we come to a judgment pretty quickly about what sort of house they live in, what they do for a living, how much money they have. We probably do make quite a snap judgment. Now, I'm going to put a few things into context here about my car, and it's not in any way to defend my decision. I got the lease on my car during 2020, so COVID years. So it was an absolute bargain in terms of it being a premium branded car. It was one of the few points in history where cars have been a good deal, because obviously they're a depreciating asset. So if I took out the same lease on my car now, it would be probably about 40% more expensive monthly than what I was paying when I got the lease out in 2020. The reason for that was obviously the world shut down, and there were lots of people cancelling orders on cars, not buying cars. So my car turned out to be a cancelled order, and it was way down in Kent, and it was actually brought up to me up north on a transporter lorry. So I got someone else's car basically, that someone else couldn't afford or didn't think was right for them at that time. So I made good on someone else's unfortunate situation there. Another thing was, when I've gone to petrol stations to fill up, I've had comments of people going, "Oh, that's a bit of a gas guzzler," and I'm thinking, you know what, I might have thought that about someone with a big car, like a Range Rover before. Actually, my car is incredibly economical. It's a diesel. Okay, not the best for the environment, but in terms of mileage, I can get over 600 miles per tank out of it, so it's pretty good going. So that didn't make sense. What else? In terms of the insurance group, it's very safe, it's very practical. You know, it's not a boy racer. Plus, I'm a woman of a certain age, so I fall into quite a good category there. Another reason why I got this car and I got it on lease was because I don't believe in paying into cars, because they are depreciating assets. I would prefer the money to be in my bank and then I pay for it every month. It is my intention that I will never own a car outright. I will never pay cash for a car. I know that goes against a lot of finance views right now, where it's like you shouldn't have any debt. I'm okay having car debt. Yeah, it's just one of those things that I'm okay with. And like I said, I don't want to pay outright for a car ever. I'm completely okay with it being on lease. So again, that kind of was different to someone viewing, well, you must have a lot of money in the bank that you've paid outright for your car, because I haven't. It's just on lease. And then someone else said, well, why would you want to draw attention to yourself? And I said, well, I don't draw attention to myself. Well, you must do, because why would you drive a car like that unless you're comfortable with everyone looking at you? And it's interesting how that hadn't occurred to me, because in the past, when I've seen cars like the one that I now drive, I haven't thought, oh, that person's showing off. I've just thought, nice car. And then the gym that I go to has got a really wide selection of clientele and therefore cars, and it's got some really, really premium cars, I would call them. There's a Lotus I've seen there. There is a Maserati, and there is also a McLaren. Well, probably two Ferraris in there at least. And I've been caught before where the owners come out and found me stood near their car having a look over it. I've also learned from that no one ever minds you admiring their car or giving you compliments on their car. You know, if someone's come out and I've gone, nice car, what a beautiful car, they're just like, thank you. You know, it's not a bad thing, is it? So I thought, you know what? Yeah, I don't look at someone driving a really nice car and think, oh, they're a bit of a flash wanker. I just think, nice car. So that was an interesting perspective as well. And then there's been a bit of a kicker. So in the last year, I did something that was totally against who I used to be. So obviously I was somebody who was, cars are practical, I'm not allowed to enjoy myself, I'm not allowed to indulge, I can't be flash, I can't be show off, a car has got to represent my status, and you are not good enough or rich enough or clever enough to own a nice car. That is what I believed. And I realised that I would always notice private number plates because, well, you do, don't you? Because they do stand out. And I started to think about it and I thought, I've been led to believe that people that have private number plates have more money than sense. I don't know where that belief came from. Well, I think I probably do, actually. I think it was probably a parent belief. And I started to think more about it. I was like, okay, some private number plates are really expensive and they go into, like, they cost more than some people's houses. But most don't. Most, like, some private plates start from under £200. And I started to think about, why do people have private plates? Is it to show off? Or is it to make something that they like or love, like their car, a bit more personal to them? To claim it almost, to say, I don't want a beige plate. I love my car and I want to make it personal. I want to make it special. I want it to have meaning to it. And if I put this private number plate on it, it becomes more mine. It becomes more of an extension of me. And of course, then I can take that plate with me to the next car and the next car. So it's something I can actually own forever. And then I thought, really, how do you view people who have private plates? Bearing in mind that you obviously do see them on expensive cars, but you also see them on, much more affordable cars. And I thought, when I see a private plate on a car, I think that person really loves their car. And they're just making it personal. They're giving it a bit of personality. They're making it a bit more them. I also think, I wonder what that plate means. Is it their initials? Are they paying tribute to somebody? Is it a date that means something to them? It gets me thinking. Now, I appreciate that not everyone will think that way about cars or when they see a private number plate. But it did make me think that, since I was brought up on the belief that everyone that has a private plate is a posh wanker, if you have that belief right now, maybe it might be worth thinking, why do I have that belief? I started thinking about the rumours, the memes that we put towards certain brands of cars. Things like, why do BMW drivers have turning signals? What's the other one? Audi drivers are really bad people that drive Audis are really bad drivers. People that drive Range Rovers don't live on farms. In fact, they're city dwellers. Women that drive sports cars are gold diggers. They haven't bought them themselves. Men that drive sports cars are just womanizers or having a midlife. There's loads, actually, when you think about it, isn't there? There's loads. And where do they come from? Well, rumours are normally started by projections of people that are perhaps jealous. Wouldn't that make more sense? I think what I'm saying at the end of the day, like, cars are cars, it's inconsequential. This is not like a big belief shift. This is not, something that's going to be life-changing. But perhaps if we start asking ourselves the question about why we like certain foods, cars, areas, restaurants, colours, etc., and why we don't like others, and really dig down, really dig deep, our answers might surprise us. I know that I've been thinking about this a lot this week, every time I get in my car, in fact, And yeah, the back still hasn't been fixed by the insurance company because obviously my car is still drivable. But yeah, I wonder what other things about us are things that we don't question. I wonder when we're having the same thing for tea every Thursday night. I wonder if we dared to question, do I even like it? Would I like to try something new? When did I start having this? What would it be like to try something else? If I'm not that keen on it, why do I still have it? I think that by exploring things that seemingly harmless but interesting, it can maybe take us to explore ideas that are perhaps more impactful in our lives. Anyway, I would love to know what you think and what are some of the views that you have when it comes to brands and things like clothes and colours and food, cars, handbags, material things. What judgments do you make about people? What beliefs have you told yourself? Have you ever questioned them? What car do you drive and why? What's the backstory behind it? Are you bothered by cars? Would you like a better car? Would you like a cheaper car? Is it just not something that interests you whatsoever? What do you think about people that drive by in posh cars? And what do you think about private number plates? It's not for validation, no context required, just a question that might lead to a belief shift in future. So that is my second episode recorded. Again, I would love that if you shared, followed along. I would love some support right now. I would love it if you shared this and if you followed me, if you left a review or you asked me some questions. It's all good. You can find me on Instagram at the Anna PR. I'm over on TikTok at the same handle. And I would love if you let me know what your belief shifts have been this week. So, with that in mind, stay spectacular, and I'll see you soon.